got about 7 cars in here tonight. So all of you, please stay away from all vehicles. That means including going up in front of them or anything like that. People get really weirded out about that. So just be thankful you're all here on a Wednesday and not a Saturday where there's minimal space. So we got quite a bit in here to work with. So all of you communication device people, this is where I start withholding information. I will not be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the big red barn. I will be giving you guys focus questions, trying to keep this location controlled as much as possible because it is a place of respect and I don't need you guys going a little bit off the beaten path and poking the bear on this one. With that whole questioning, again, it is focal points, but we do have all 3 cameras, my voice recorder, and at least, I don't even know how many communicators we have out tonight, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're asking a question, your answer can go to any one of those 9 devices that I just explained. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. That's why I love to use more than 2 communication devices. So even when it's a group of 2, there's at least 2 places where our ghost can communicate through. So, where are you? You're in a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. So, I told you, I take you to weird spots. This used to be something. This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion site in the front of this space. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant. It came all the way across. And the servant and slave quarters are in the back of the space. That's the layout of the land. So, who the heck were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. So, that's 3 different Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. And that's why we look for those secondary clues. I need to know, in case somebody hears the name Charles, which one it is so we know how to address them. So that's, again, another reason for secondary clues. Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you. If I don't give them that recognition, they will do it for me nastily through a spirit box. So I just do it every single night, and I move on to Eliza. She has a much better story. Now, Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say that slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14 when young ladies got married. Think of today's standards. The reason why is her husband was over double her age when they married. It was creepy then, creepy now. Thank you for the grimace. Appreciate it. Now, back to Eliza. She married him because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all his children home one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put, right here, got married. It's 1744, everybody. You don't get married in that year to get a green card. We are not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story. Nothing horrific about this location at all, other than the mystery of the unknown. But anyway, Eliza was correct. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. A lot of you are wearing it right now. When Eliza got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with it. She actually had to learn from her slaves how to keep it going. It's not always warm here. She had to keep it going, cultivated. Then she had to learn how to make the dye. Once she did that here, she moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of her father overseas, and told him that the rice plantation prices were going downhill and that they were going to make a killing with the indigo. She just needed the right contacts. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial days. Something absolutely unheard of. So, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here. So, with each set of communicators, I'm going to give you a set of focus questions, and then we're going to spread out. I'm going to keep Erin behind with me to show her a few extra things about her little doodad, but I'm actually going to start off with the red spirit boxes. So that's going to be Lauren and Michaela. Your set of questions are going to be identical. Your set of questions are going to be wrapped around Eliza's death. So she's pretty open about talking about it. And the 4 major answers that we get out of her are: how old were you when you died? What did you die from? Where are you buried? And which president was a pallbearer at your funeral? So, 4 majors. If you ask your own questions, be respectful. Make sure they're not yes/no questions. That's kind of the mentality behind this location. So, Laney, with yours, the mansion's not here anymore. You're going to focus, because that thing only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time. Focus on what happened to it, and if you get the what, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that occurred. I'm giving you a clue that it was indeed a tragedy, so kind of keep that in mind. All right, Erin and Kathy, your devices are going to be working kind of in conjunction as well. You don't necessarily need to work together, but you're going to be looking for Eliza's initials in order, E-L-P. The L is significant. Let me explain. So Miss Kathy, Eliza, the one I just told you about, is the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. His first wife was also named Eliza and also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. You're going to figure out which one is here by asking for her maiden name, and hopefully you will get the L name that shows up. But again, if you get anything that is being spelled in 3 or more letters, I want to know what it is. If you get the word fix, like F-I-X, in a row, let me know that, and I write down everything it gives me, because again, even though I've had it for a year, I'm always learning. So it might mean something. But again, so Kathy, your device is kind of the catch-all as well. So anybody else asking questions, the 3 ladies with spirit boxes, the answers might go to you as well. So you and I are going to review that list several times while we're here. So again, we're going, Tim, have you got anything?
16.1.
16.
Why have we been talking?
Wow. So you're also, when we go in between spaces, you're going to ignore your numbers. The parking meters make your device go off, just so you know. So 16.1 is your new baseline. Don't give me anything below that. So I'm excited, but the average for this location is between 18 to 22. I will explain all the EMF readings once we are coming back as a collective. 16.1. All right, camera should be rolling at this point. Everybody spread out, go have a good time. I'll be with you in just a minute. Erin, you're going to stick with me. All right.
The mansion was like up here.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this. I thought I hit the mute button.
Well. Shouldn't we hear a noise?
Yeah. I need the volume.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
So he said, what happened to the mansion?
Yeah. What happened to the mansion here?
Did something... Oh, that's... What happened to the mansion here? What was the tragedy that happened at the mansion?
I thought I heard fire, but you were saying it at the same time, so I don't know. When did the tragedy happen?
What year did the tragedy take place?
Did somebody die?
How many people were injured in the tragedy?
I swear it's like every time you heard something, we were talking over it.
What happened to the mansion?
Who lived in the mansion that was once here? Who died in the tragedy here?
Well, we could walk a little bit, but...
We heard that there was a garden in front of the mansion here. What were some of the flowers in that garden? That's not yes or no.
Yeah, we already asked. about all this city. Why do you always talk when I talk?
That was radio. It was like 102. Well, 102 could be a number too.
Could be.
Found it.
What happened to the mansion? I was trying to think of what line that was in the song.
Oh, you can't make out anything.
Yeah.
When was the mansion destroyed?
All over it. Alright, ladies, what are we hearing over here?
Nothing.
We haven't been able to make out anything that it said.
Are you hearing noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
It's going through radio stations.
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
We just haven't been able to make anything out.
It's weird that you're not getting any signal now. Let's give you a little bit more oomph of a volume. Maybe that'll help you out. I smell burgers. Anybody else smell burgers?
Yeah,
I
I
do
do
smell burgers.
There we go. Let's give you just a little bit more.
Okay.
In the event that it's just constant and it doesn't shut up, it's too much. You want it to be broken.
Okay.
So just kind of keep that in mind. And with your camera, again, I don't always follow up in real time. I was just telling Jeannie about that thing. It's great for capturing orbs. So
I'll make sure to do wide shots.
Yeah,
just,
nice and
just walk
slow.
around. Yeah.
I do watch those in double time, so I'm basically watching them in fast forward. So just try to be as slow as possible. That's the only thing.
Can definitely do that.
All right, keep listening. I'm
All
going
right,
to follow up
sounds
with Michaela and see what Tim's got. Tim, you got any numbers?
What happened to the mansion that was here? I swear I heard it coming down.
What year did the mansion come down? I'm trying to think of it, like, I don't know. I could just ask basic questions, but
Was the mansion brought down on purpose? Did somebody do it? If so, who was it? Can you tell us what happened at this mansion?
it'll be clear.
Yeah.
It'll be clear. If we get a response. Who lived in the mansion? The ghosts are like, bitch, please, stop asking stupid ass questions. Bitch, please. Taylor? I know that from anywhere. Were you a Taylor Swift fan?
I didn't use it.
Yeah.
Codes department.
I got some real questions to ask. Let me.
You know where Joe Allen is.
He's going to hell, isn't he?
Okay, alright. Respectful.
I mean, we kind of.
Was there a fire at the mansion?
It's a yes or no question, maybe.
I don't know what else to ask.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, ours is. We're not going to pick this up later. Like, ours is in real time. stuff.
Well, he did say that
We'll
that'll
record
pick
it if
up,
it
yeah.
says anything, but if we're talking, you're not going to hear.
That's why I was trying to keep it like close to it.
Sounds like cooking mama.
That was something.
289.
No, the only thing
They
we've,
see me?
the only thing we've gotten so far that's been solid has been numbers.
Yeah, 289 and 102.
Oh, Irish jig. You know me. What year did the mansion go down?
990 something. How many people were killed in the tragedy?
What number am I thinking of right now? Sorry. I was thinking of a number relevant to this situation.
We got two numbers.
What are they?
We got 289 and 102.
289. Get a scream in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to call it.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody, let's kind of regroup where we started over here. Hey, Erin, bring your girls over. I'm going to show you how this all ties up. You broke it. Good job. You're getting the bill. It's only a $20,000 camera you're carrying around.
I fixed it.
Alright, any other craziness that I need to know about? And then Lauren, did you hear anything at all?
Just the number 44.
Okay. So we got to get you better at listening to that thing. So, yeah, it's okay. And again, most people suck at this at the start. It's okay.
It's just hard to hear because of the static.
Right. I'm asking you to do something with one of your senses that you've never done before.
Yeah.
Especially when you're listening for tiny little tidbits. And that's why we record things, so that way you guys can all listen to it later on. So she did hear the number 44. Anybody remember what year Eliza and Charles got married? 1744. So, I am excited about that. We did get all the way up to, was it 69?
69.
Oh.
Yeah, let me explain that. So we did get a 40 in there and a couple of other numbers, but the 69 was the peak. By the way, if you have a camera, you can hit the stop button on those and get your hands up. But yeah, so with this, again, she's like, I'm keep breaking this damn thing over here. You hear her mumbling under her breath. So it should boot up back again in a minute. So Michaela, if you remember how to use that, you can help her out. If not, I'll fix it for you. And Tim, remember you're looking for 8 and above at this location simply because we have lamp posts. They will give off a little bit of an EMF. So kind of keep
Market
that.
was terrible though.
Oh yeah, it was, like you should have been pretty high over there.
81.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
It's probably because something was about to change. And again, that's a lot of like where the crosswalks are and the street signs.
Exactly.
That's all underneath your feet. So every time it changes, it gives you a huge spike. So a lot of people will do that, like, oh my gosh, I had a 40 or a 60, and I'm like, no, that's that. But anyway, so every ghost tour comes down here. This was the one I was going to take out this year, which, by the way, I actually tried to take out the Pinckney Mansion site out of my route, only because I was getting like disrespectful ghost hunters on your end, and they would come on, Eliza, and then they go like take a leak in the corner kind of mentality.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was getting very nasty messages through Spirit Box. So I kind of gave it a break for a few weeks, and then I go back. And I tell Eliza I will try to, do my best to keep you guys respectful, and I made a pact with her that I will walk through there every night before I meet with you and let her know what your names are. Michaela can't figure out the camera. So because you have it backwards.
Good job,
So when I basically get down here, I'm talking from my office, like out loud, to the spirits that we're about to, go try to communicate with. But I always make sure I go to the Pinckney Mansion site before I meet with you guys on that corner and just rattle off all your names. Here's who I'm bringing with me. So some people are like, maybe she knows I'm here. I'm like, yep, she does know you're here because I told her you were coming. So that's the kind of mentality I keep on that place. It is a place of respect. Now, where are you now? You're inside Philadelphia Alley. But this used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. That's why I said let's go talk about killing people. There you go, Jeannie. You are back on record. You're welcome. She's okay. Now, so with this particular alley, again, every ghost tour comes down here and tells the same story. I'm going to give you the same story, but I'm going to add a few details because you're ghost hunting, right? You're not on the cheesy campfire marshmallow kind of ghost tour. So here's how this goes. And this is actually the reason why I have Erin's device. You guys are going to see that here in just a minute. I actually bought that device specifically for this location. But this ghost also likes to follow us around town. I've got to remember, every ghost tour talks about him, but I'm the only one that can communicate back. So kind of keep that fresh in your brains. Now, a doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. So I say his name slowly because spirit boxes that are still listening, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it is not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. So I just like to say his name slowly so you kind of remember. Michaela's like, I'll go one ear it. So she's all about it. But anyway, Dr. Ladd moves down here from Rhode Island because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée Amanda. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, does it? Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all this cash that she just got, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's cash. He tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not just after her cash. On his way into town, he had a coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver. Yeah, exactly. Now, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen because he knew the driver. His name is Ralph Isaacs. I say his name slowly because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from, Rhode Island. I was getting the letters RI on regular spirit boxes, so I bought the Ouija board device that gives us individual letters. We've had it about half a dozen times in the past year that I brought up Ralph's name. So we're looking for the letters RI while we're in here, Erin, just so you know. Now, Dr. Ladd, basically here's what happened with Ralph. He tells the doctor, I know the guy, this coachman, he's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room and you'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer, and the two gentlemen became friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. That's just Remy. We're in his house, Kathy, just so you know. Anybody know who Remy is, right? He's a rat. So, yeah. So I seen you looking around, and Kathy's like, who is that up there? It's Remy.
I was kind of wondering where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Remy, and Church Street is one block that way.
Oh, that way.
Yeah. We're on up there next.
A church.
We are. We're on the exact opposite wall. This wall is the back wall of the cemetery. So, yeah, congrats, everybody. But anyway, so the two gentlemen are friends, and the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. She gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they can be married, and Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time. He's a happy guy. He's going to get married. This is part of the reason why I hate this story, is because it is a cliche. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. Anyway, moving on. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. So you should be recording that, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, you want to kind of record it and keep it going down one way or the other.
See the rat.
See the rat. Get the rat in the trees. But anyway, so they go see Richard III one night, and they have to talk about the plays on the way home because they don't sit next to each other, and they're arguing over the new actress they just saw. Dr. Ladd thought this actress was great. Ralph didn't. It turns into an argument, and then Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Now, Ralph has friends around town. He goes to his friends at the newspaper and puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Duelers Alley. We're going to settle this. Somebody's going to die. If you don't remember, this argument started over an actress. Kind of dumb and stupid that somebody's going to die over an opinion. Anyway, the two gentlemen came down, back to back, took 10 paces away from each other. They turned. The doctor pointed his gun in the air and shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up. But Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc doesn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment on November 2nd of 1786. Let me explain. Two things. First thing, it's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than what we know of them now. Secondly, he's a doctor, guys. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and bled it out himself, but he failed because he died. Now, every ghost tour tells you to listen for the whistles while you're down here. Hear how quiet it is? It is always this quiet. It could be a busy Saturday afternoon. This is what it sounds like. It's eerie. It's probably one of the most beautiful places we have in Charleston, by the way, but it can be very eerie. So, if you're going to try this on your own, with the voice recorders from your phones, and you're going to walk all the way down to the edge of the alley and get a recording, just keep in mind every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen is going to throw a whistle down the alley. We all do it. I do it I used to do it every single night, because my garage used to be over there, my office is that way, which means I had to pass the alley, and I'd always throw a whistle down here ever since I got thrown out. That's the fun part of the story. Let's get into that. So, the alley didn't always go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It was called Cow Alley. So, we do get the word cow all the time, by the way, on your word generator when you have it. So, with that said, what does that mean for you and how I got kicked out of here? That means that the bricks down on the other side are older than the ones we're standing on, because they were laid first. Those bricks down there are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child in one of those bricks, and some fingerprint swipes in others. I used to take my groups all the way down there for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about it. I all feel like we need to see those handprints to show how far we've come from slavery. So, by the way, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not there. You're not going to find him anywhere near that brick, okay? So, November 26th of 2020, I take my entire group down there for their little history lesson, and they're all huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen with the gear, even though I told them nothing's going to happen. I'm trying to push them along because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. Bless you, by the way. I was just trying to be respectful to the mansion. I didn't realize we were out of bounds for tours. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter, who was also on the tour that night, thought it was hysterical because her father was getting yelled at. Yes, we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving. Reason being is I worked in upper management for Walmart, and you all like to... You scarred me for life for Thanksgiving. I keep my ass home. Now, exactly. And I did that for a long time. I was a guy who actually had to make the design for the store for the ingress and ingress and egress going in and out of the store where everything was going to be placed. So I was in charge of all of the women fighting over towels. But anyway, the next day was the 28th. I called my partner that I had at the time. I told him what happened about the owner of the mansion. He laughed at me just like my daughter did. And he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. So he said, you got to reroute your group. It's residential. Anything past that, we're not allowed there. So I rerouted my group, but what I told them that night was, I don't believe in the next story because I've never had anything happen. We're going to split the seas and let this very small group pass through us, and I'll continue. Hello.
Hello. Hi. By the way, you guys should look at it too. It's pretty. Sorry.
Cherry blossom. Sorry, I get more fascinated by the anise tree.
Anise?
Yeah. Because during certain times of the year,
I got heart failure.
I keep getting like, it sounds like, it might be a stretch, but like,
what did you get?
you know, like the heart monitor, like in the hospital,
Yeah.
how I keep getting that too.
Which one? What do you
Like,
get?
She's like hearing like a heart monitor,
Yeah,
like from a
Okay,
hospital.
I heard,
that's why I was like,
okay.
Oh my god.
Heart failure. Okay.
But he died from a gunshot wound.
But is it weird how it's just like in an ad? Is it?
I don't know how Ralph died,
Yeah.
because Ralph died many years later.
Okay.
So I'm gonna dive into that, considering you both had.
Ralph's
because
initials.
it just
R.I.,
keeps
Ralph
tugging,
Isaacs.
really static, and then all I get is beep, beep.
Interesting.
This one.
Okay.
So I rerouted my group November 28th, but I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person, which is what we're going to be discussing next. The person, well, I had a couple of people with spirit boxes, but one of them heard the name Anne before we left this location. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating, the famous female pirate, Anne Bonny.
That's crazy.
So I was kind of like, okay, maybe we are going to get something. I've never had anything up in that area prior. So we go up around the corner. I told them what I knew about piracy in Charleston. It wasn't much. I only had a few hours to do some quick research. And I even told them, I was up front, I'm like, I don't believe this story. I've never had anything happen. Somebody else heard the number 300. I didn't know what it meant. Wrote it down, do the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. And you guys are all oohing and on and jaws dropping. I was actually pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing. When I'm doing this and I'm writing anything, fiction or non, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy of all of our famous pirates like Anne Bonny and Blackbeard. That's a problem for me. That means I have to read more books on piracy to validate all of the shit you guys are finding, basically. So I've read more books on pirates, watched more documentaries, and even played video games for different versions of the story. I can probably answer most questions about pirates. Even though it wasn't a thing that I was into, I am very much into it now because I know the history and all of how to debunk all the legends.
A lot of pirates in this area.
Yeah, there is a lot. Quite a bit. And what's funny is my best TikTok videos, because I do create story on TikTok out of AI imagery, my best ones are all pirate stories. Like, because I always tell like how we're trying to communicate with so-and-so or that person or this person, and it's always the damn pirate videos that get the most views. It just cracks me up. But because I could talk about like all the things I'm doing in the paranormal field, and they're like, who cares? What about Blackbeard? I'm like, really? We're talking ghosts here. But anyway, so we're gonna go up and around the corner. We got to exit the way we came in. Cameras, just kind of be mindful of that group up there. And Laney, with yours, you can listen to it up until you get there. But as we pass through, unmute or mute it, and then you can unmute it again when we get around the corner. Keep in mind that group is all going to be staring at your blinky lights. What do I need to know about your devices before we leave the space? Have we heard anything else? Any other heart stuff? Tim, any numbers? No. Kathy, any words?
I got a 20.
20.
Yeah.
Okay. And nothing came out of yours,
No,
Michaela?
it just keeps the heart monitor.
The heart monitor. Can I see your screen? Can you just hold it up for me? I just want to make sure you're still scrolling. You're good. Just want to make sure you didn't like go to a recording or something like that. You heard the number 20. And just so you know, Dr. Ladd died at the age of 22. So that to me is a close but no cigar.
Yeah.
I like things to be exact.
Yeah.
So especially with Dr. Ladd. Which, by the way, Dr. Ladd will visit us at another location, and I will explain that once we get there, because this is not a stuffed ghost. Okay, I know you guys hear that term a lot from your TV shows and YouTubers. I'm not a believer in that, because this guy like follows me all over the damn place whenever I'm down here. So he will follow us to the next location, and then again at another location after that. Kaylee, you okay? You're like getting super quiet, even more so. Like,
No, I'm good.
all right, let's go learn about crazy rated R pirates. Nobody got my dad joke? Really?
Oh.
But if a pirate's favorite letter isn't R, what is it?
C.
It must be the C. All right, come on, Susie.
Come on. Oh, this is a really pretty picture. We took pictures here.
It is pretty.
Did that say 9 or 5?
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, the camera did. Sorry.
No, you're good.
My ear is like automatically like that's all I want to do is listen to that thing.
So odd.
Should I leave this on or mute it?
We'll wait till everybody keeps going. You can listen for another minute or two. Jeannie, if you want to get that record button going. Kayla, have you heard anything?
I got the number 800.
Did you get anything?
Car paper.
I don't want an $800 car payment.
Protest.
Drink. But I gotta.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Alright, we got everybody. I'll take a pic.
Nothing on the walk over from you.
Why do I
Nothing.
forget so many
I mean,
numbers?
like 2, 2, 1.
Parking meters. Yeah.
I was.
Like, I'm just, like, always getting numbers, and I don't know if, like...
You're focused on it. That's why.
Yeah.
And that's why we record. So when you get it back and you see all the.
At 270.
Where did you get that at?
Here, right now.
Just now.
Yeah.
We're on the Cooper River right here.
Did you?
Cooper also means barrel maker.
Yeah. Did you get
So,
that?
so if you get Ashley as well, that's the other river that surrounds us. So Cooper and Ashley rivers. Civic. Anything on yours, Erin? I gave you the word scramble.
Cows? Moo?
Is that what you have? Like M-O-O? That's good stuff. We're gonna take it. You spelled something out. We talked about Cow Alley. I know it's not the word cow, but we're gonna take it.
Okay.
It's weak, but it's there. Alright, let's get you on mute for now. Cameras, let's get you guys up and running if you haven't already hit your record buttons. So with this location, we will be able to spread out, obviously. Other tours love to cut through here, and they like to just point up at that building, stay for a minute or two, just stay out of their way. That's why I bring us to the back, because I'm going to be giving you a completely different history than they are. We'll spread out here, and then the next location is a new experiment. So it is the new location for this year, and one of you will be wearing a voice recorder that can hear basically a frog fart from 3 miles away. We might even hear Remy back in Philadelphia Alley. It is a live EVP session, and it is a murder mystery. So it's a very brief stop. We get a recording for about 8 to 10 minutes while I give you the history of what we do know about the murder mystery. And then we go to our next spot, which will be the last stop. That stop will be an Estes method session. Does everybody know what that is?
Yeah.
I got some of you that are yeses. Erin's like, nope, I have no idea. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take 2 people. I'm going to blindfold them. They're going to be listening to spirit boxes as I question them as if they're the ghost. They're also not going to know the history of the location. A third person will be involved. This third person will be wearing a VR headset, watching the Seer app, which creates images for us out of EMF activity. So basically like Tim's device, my phone also has a magnetometer in it. So anything that comes through like an EMF reading, like his numbers, will be translated from binary code into an actual image. Hopefully, with the 2 people that are blindfolded, it'll look like a conversation. With the person with the visual piece, they'll be explaining what they see, but we'll all be able to see it once the session is over, because I'll be able to, it saves all the images. It will also be on your report that I give back to you in the morning. Now, with the images that are created, it is about 45% accurate. The Estes method session, from what I found, because I do test and run percentages of how things are accurate, is about 33% accurate. So 1 out of 3 chances that we'll actually have a good session. So it's not very good odds, but it is still fun to watch. It could be super silly, or it could be super accurate as to the ghost. Now, all 3 people are not going to know what the history is. I sit those 3 down, 3 blind mice on a bench, and then I take the rest of you, and I teach you the very quick 5-minute history of who we're hunting down, and then you guys get to watch it unfold as I'm asking questions. So, now, with that said, I will probably pick like 1 person from every group, like, just so you know who's going to be getting which role. But again, this is a lot of fun as our last big finale, and I only keep them under for 10 minutes. Because again, it can go a little awry if we stay any longer than that. So, let's kind of get into why we're here. Now, I got a bunch of blank faces like, I want to know who the hell's getting blindfolded. Who's he going to pick? Tim's like, I don't know if I can do that. I seen that look on his face like, nope, not me. We're going to be discussing the little tiny building up there with crosses on it. First off, you need to know, those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. Earthquake bolts, if you're not familiar with what those are, they're basically turnbuckles. They're turnbuckles. If you tighten them up... What's that?
What were those buildings?
Well, that building in particular is the gunpowder magazine. That is all one building. It's shaped that way because there's sand underneath the roof in case it explodes from gunpowder. The sand goes up in the air and falls to put out the fire of the gunpowder. That's why it's designed that way, and it looks like 2 buildings. But back to the crosses. In the event we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886 that I mentioned prior, you can tighten those turnbuckles. It tightens the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea. It just doesn't work. But I do bring these ones up, on purpose because it's part of the reason why we're here. Those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. You guys have been seeing them all over town. Lion heads, pineapples, even this apartment building has them on every single floor. So those ones in particular is because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We are here because that building was being built. What's it say?
Leave now.
We're not leaving now.
Dear. Are you serious?
This is why that's why we wait for confirmation. So if somebody else hears "get the hell out" or "see you later," that's the only time where I'm actually going to abide by that. Because again, all of ghost hunting tools that have those things in there are going to have "leave now" and "get out" kind of stuff in there. because it's meant to try to scare you. Now, the building was being built at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. This is what I call a familiar. Now, most of you seem like you watch the TV shows and YouTube stuff. They have a new device on there called a Boo Buddy. Have you guys seen this? The Boo Buddy, Michaela's like, I want one of those. Now, the Boo Buddy is a teddy bear, all right? And it's got a little blinky light K2 EMF meter in it, so if a child comes near it, because they recognized it as a toy, then they get activity from the meter. Think of that concept with this building. We don't have many buildings this old. That's why I call this a familiar. It's from Anne's era. So, let's get into her story, and then we will spread out and get to work. I will tell you, I will slow down on some of the pirate twists because we are talking about a kick-ass female pirate here. There are going to be twists, but I will speed through everything else so we can get back to work. I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me talk by now. Now, 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father. You okay over there?
Yeah.
Past your bedtime?
Yeah.
Sorry, I call out yawns all night long. Just I notice they usually start around here. Now, she comes here with her father and her father's mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Everybody with me so far? I mean, not got it? Okay, cool. The three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was that wife that she kicked them out of the damn country? Yeah, I'd just like to point that out too. So, the only gentleman here, be nice to your lady. She'll kick you up to Canada. That's kind of how today works. Which, by the way, if you're not really putting a timeline together, in 1708, there are no planes. They came here by boat. Yeah, that's a long ride. They landed in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. So Dad bought a plantation up there, and Mom died pretty quickly. So that means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to sell things from the plantation to keep things afloat, hence the familiar building. She was said to be a badass even when she was a little girl. When she was only 7, 8, 9 years old, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. So I'm just giving you the mentality of this young lady as we move forward. Let's fast. I know, right? So fast forward, the building's done in 13, but by 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Here's why. She's going to fall in love with one of these guys so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. The first guy she fell in love with, and I said first slowly because there's a handful, we're going to cover them all, is James Bonny. You already know where this one's going, right?
The one on Outlander.
Yes. So James Bonny is a filthy pirate, and Dad doesn't approve. They ran away to Jamaica, they got married. Anne Cormac is now Anne Bonny. That's where she got her pirate name from. However, when she gets down there, she realizes that her husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer, which means he's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. This is John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they base your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering. Calico Jack has his own ship. He has his own crew. Anne wants to be part of that crew. You can't put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why? Thank you for keeping it family friendly. I appreciate that. I get some really nasty answers to that one, and I only do it to make sure you guys are still following along. But she's correct. It is bad luck. So he makes a deal with her. If you actually dress like my crew, you could be part of the crew. You're good to go. You could dress like a guy. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. We're all adults here. We can put it all together. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out she's a girl, and they'll get rid of Jack as captain. So before she starts to show her pregnancy, he drops her off in Cuba. Have the baby over here with these friends of mine that'll help you out and come back later. We'll figure it out then. She goes and has that baby, returns with no child. We have no idea what happened to the baby. None of my research has ever disclosed it. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. Now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. To make him even more mad, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females on the same ship trying to be pirates. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Now, Mary and Anne became lovers, possibly, but definitely friends for sure. The British find out where they are and send a whole fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks. Obviously, 2 ladies with 1-bullet guns cannot take on a whole fleet of Navy ships. By the way, they only have guns because they don't know how to use cannons because they haven't been pirates for very long. Now, they get arrested, and as they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain and beau and says, "I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up on your communication all the time. Now, the judge wants to see the 2 men, quote-unquote, that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The two ladies go in front of the judge and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a damn that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. We plead our bellies, was what they shouted back at him, because they're claiming to be pregnant. You can't hang a pregnant woman at 1720. It's illegal. He delays the hanging, sends them both back to jail. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending, because we don't know diddly squat about her that's not speculative fiction after her pirate career. Now, Mary Read died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books will tell you that it was fever. I say let's make it romantic, call it scurvy. Why the hell not? Now, about this location, I'm not going to control it as much as I did at the Pinckney Mansion site. I'm going to tell you a few things that I left out. You can ask anything you want to. Normally I tell you if you brought a bottle of rum and some good tobacco, let's have a good time. So, I did not tell you the names of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and the mistress. I didn't tell you the name of the city where Anne grew up in Ireland, the name of Calico Jack's ship that she joined, and the color of Anne's hair. Everything here is fair game. EMF, I get excited about 2.5 on this back half. Over there, you have parking meters, 2 electrical poles that will give you like 4s to 6s, but I do get excited about a 2.5. You will probably mainly see 0s here, which is odd because the Earth gives off EMF. We should have something. That's kind of an anomalous thing all by itself. The biggest orb I've ever caught with your camera has been here. That was actually near the wall, and when I say it appeared in frame and moved toward me, turned and rotated, and then went up and disappeared in frame. It was definitely not, and it was larger than my head. Like, it was giant. It was not a light flare, so to speak. This wall is not your friend, Faye. It's covered in leaves, so it's going to look like a bunch of army men all the way down. So kind of keep that in mind. Everybody else, anything else I need to know? So Kathy, where are we at with that word list? And Erin, tell me if you have any word scrambles.
Up.
Up. 3-letter words or more?
Oh. What?
Up, move.
Educate, interact, and move. Or no.
Node? Like N-O-D-E?
Uh-huh.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's not a term that they would have used at all. Like, I think of nodes as like electrical pieces.
Yeah.
Very weird. All right, let's spread out. Let's see what we can find. Let's do it.
Okie dokie. Yeah. Oh, sorry, car. No. You're past the-
You want to say it?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's gonna go to the corner. We can. Dude!
And if you're here, what was the name of Calico Jack's ship? That was clear, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, good thing it was recording.
What was the name of Calico Jack's ship? What were the names of Anne's parents?
What was the color of Anne's hair? Okay, let's walk over there.
And what was the name of the ship you were on? Starting?
Love.
Love.
Love. That was clear.
That was really clear. What about love?
What about love?
It's actually interesting. Me? 20? I got to heard 20 again. So good. What is significant about the number 20?
And what was the name of your child? Very quiet. And who was the name of the friend that was on the ship?
Every time.
Every time. Why do you do that?
When I?
And what color was your hair?
Red.
Yeah,
Red?
why did I hear red?
Did you hear red?
I heard red. I was thinking that, but I was like, that didn't.
But what's funny
was
is
like-
when you said that the first time, I thought I heard that too, but it wasn't clear enough. Count it.
Okay. That's kind of.
What about the ship? What was the name of Calico Jack's ship? You said something else while I was talking. We heard love really clear, as clear as day.
What color was Anne's hair?
You tell me.
Was it
We
red?
heard red.
It was red.
That's crazy.
Okay.
I thought I heard 20 really faintly, but I wasn't sure, and then I heard it really clear again.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah, I think love and red were
Yeah.
At least you guys are getting something. Nobody else has anything.
Yeah. It's funny, like sometimes, like I feel like every time we go to say something, we hear something in this, and then we can't hear it because we're talking.
And that's why we record it.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
haven't seen anything on this though.
Yeah, that thing's small.
Yeah.
So, and what I told you about was caught later. Like it was the
Yeah.
next day when I was going through the media.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably will not see anything
Yeah.
right now.
So based on how this is all set up, Go ahead and mute that for me for just a second. So I'm probably going to put you underneath the EVP session. So you're going to have the headphones with the crazy.
Sounds good.
So that will kind of give you a different job to do because we won't be able to use that recorder there anyway. And then you're probably going to be using the Seer app. That's going to be the visual image piece at the last location. Just because that obviously can't be used during the blindfold session. And with 3 groups, I want to make sure all 3 are part of everything. And I know that job, even though that camera is super awesome and it's a lame job in real time, I get it. So I was like, let me make sure we get Kaylee someone else extra to do.
With the Seer thing, am I saying anything or am I just watching?
No, you're going to basically describe what you see.
Okay.
But you're going to also have those 2 other girls talking over you. Because they're not going to be able to hear anything. You will be. So I'll explain all the details once we get there. I just kind of wanted to give you guys the heads up on like who's going to be doing what. But I'm probably going to be, definitely putting you underneath the EVP session. And this crazy headset is ridiculous. Like it is nuts. So I'm going to do one more quick round robin to see what we have. But otherwise, I would start making your way towards the wall because Anne's either here or she's not. Like this is a 50-50 roll of the dice. So, Tim, anything?
You want to do it? That's crazy.
Cool.
You've been wanting to.
I'm excited. It'll be fun. I mean, who knows? It'll be squat.
I feel like I'm really bad at like distracting.
Yeah, but it's visual. At least like it's not.
He said it records too.
Yeah,
So.
you'll be fine.
That's crazy. We both heard Red twice.
But that's the only thing we heard.
Love is pretty crazy. I think because it has to do with all the.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we actually get a lot of sexual terms here.
You get a lot of what?
Like
Sexual terms.
Oh yeah.
See that all the time. But I think it's about time to call this one. There's really a whole lot going on here.
Heard so good.
The wall.
Must have had it so good, huh? I mean, she did.
I feel like we should tell him that.
Say whatever you want.
I will.
What, Jesus?
I mean, it did take off my
Definitely not. But look right there.
Well, I did not see that. I did not see that.
That's why you're getting all those religious phrases. It's common that we get back here.
Oh, okay.
So let's kind of talk about, what Laney and Kaylee are doing back there. They're the only ones that really caught any terms that were relevant. So they did hear the word love loud and clear. We do get a lot of sexual terms here.
We got so good too. So.
We actually had some pretty dirty stuff show up a couple nights ago. I was like, let's tone it down, Anne. Wow. But they also heard the color of Anne Bonnie's hair, which was red. The number 20 was heard. Who heard the number 20? Did you guys, that was you guys again too? So that was the year of Anne Bonnie's trial. So you guys can see where I'm connecting some of the dots here. But everything else has been pretty vague. Like, if you guys are getting my point, no EMF reading whatsoever. So again, it's not expected. So that 2.5, when it does show up, I get like, oh yeah, maybe we do have somebody. Remember that even though this is, a pretty old building, we do have a couple of other buildings around town that are in the same era. So the roll of the dice here is if Anne is hunting here or somewhere else that she might recognize. Do you guys remember the heated morning at the top of the night, the headache, the nausea, the dizziness that I told you guys about? This location is the reason why. A couple years ago, month of September, probably the same temperature that you're in right now, I took my group to the back like I always do, so we stayed out of the way of the other groups. And the kid next to me, I call him a kid because he's like 21, 22 years old. He's fainting. He's dropping like a wet noodle on us. I had to pick him up by his armpit so he doesn't hit his head on the ground. His boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him. We brought him over here to this wall and they sat down. They were okay for me to continue. And I told them the story of Anne Bonnie the same as I told you. This used to be the last stop. Again, I've already told you I change this up every year. So after I told the story, spread everybody out, go have fun. I had people over by the cemetery, yada, yada, yada. And the 2 gentlemen pull me aside and say, Nick, we have to tell you, we are 2 transgender males. I had 2 females dressed like males, just like Anne and Mary in the story on the tour. Yes, jaw drops. Now, that is the weird shit that I see. Like, again, I can't make this stuff up even if I wanted to. So you guys have to kind of keep in mind, like with everything that I do out here, safety is of the utmost importance. If I get a psychic or a medium, this is why I have you guys show up early so I know who I'm working with. I make sure that they do not get a headphone spirit box. I don't want to interfere with the messaging that they can already receive. So again, there is a reason to my madness for everything that I do with you guys out here. So kind of keep your hands a break and go ahead and put a stop to it. Erin, then.
Delicious and flying. The day? Or today?
I thought it was today.
Oh, fun to write? Guilty? You hear that?
Like, he got the whole basis for the drug test.
I feel like we're gonna have a ton.
His dream. Oh.
It's not like a car.
Why they're playing it. It gets very interesting. Diving.
Yeah, we're definitely walking the same cool people.
Did you say we're definitely on? Straight up.
Oh, okay.
So you know.
Oh,
And I'll take your spirit box
Okay.
just so that you can go have see Kaylee.
you said you don't want me to record?
We don't need to.
Okay.
I got the word witnesses,
Oh.
and then California.
Okay, how do you turn this off?
Just tap it. Just tap it. Alright, here's how this is going to go down. So I'm going to be handing you the equipment, the blindfolds that you guys are going to be using. Do not put the blindfolds or even the headset on in your case, because if I just blindfold a bunch of ladies on a bench and walk away, it never looks good in case another tour comes trotting through here, like, what is Nick doing now? So kind of keep that in mind. The blindfolds are an origami project, so if you two can figure them out while we're gone, yeah, good luck. If not, I have extras, no worries. And I say origami projects because they are disposable. I do not want them back, so keep your own eye boogers. Those are yours to keep. But anyway, so I will give you blindfolds. Go over to the two of you. I will take your wrappers. See, oh, those are my last two in the bag, so don't screw them up. I normally have a 10 in it. I don't know why they keep it.
But this is the building right there that we were in. That's City Hall.
Oh.
Charleston City Hall.
That's the four
This corner.
corners of law.
Yeah, they call it the four corners of the hall. Because you got city, the church, federal over on the other corner, and state in the next, in the other corner here.
Yep, city, state, federal, and church. Got them all. So here's how this is going to go. So we are going to go over to that monument. I'm going to give them the quick history, and then we're going to come back and I'll give you all three of you tips and tricks on what to expect from this, and we're going to take it from there. So just keep in mind that your blindfolds, ladies, are going to fit like a Batman mask. So you're going to have to, yep. So open it up like a circle like that, and then there's, nope, it's back. Not all the way around your head. So on the thinner part, you're going to rip it right in the center. There's a little perforation there.
You came down here.
Washington Square.
Got it? Okay. So let's go run some quick history, the rest of you, and then we'll come back and see how this
Yeah, I got you.
I'm going to save it for last. Wow, you guys are making me talk a lot tonight. Oh wait, I do that for a living, isn't that right? Okay, so here's how this goes. When we get over there, as far as that camera goes, Erin, you can film anywhere you want. We have had interactions like, hey, wave at me kind of mentality in here. But I definitely want you to keep yours on them the entire time because they're going to want to watch this later. They are not going to get this history from me tonight. They're going to have to get it from their recordings later. So I will keep them in the dark on purpose. In the event that I'm not getting the answers that I want, or that are obviously direct answers from the blindfolded ladies, they will come through on our other devices. So that is basically going to be our word generator, and obviously Faye is using the little Ouija board now. Tim, we have gotten triple digits in here, so if you see it start to creep up, please chime in and let me know. All right, so with this location, this is the new spot for last year. I didn't know what to expect out of it. All I knew was that a lot of ghost tours came here. I didn't know who they were trying to talk about. I only had 2 people when I first started coming here, and I was just experimenting. I always start after Halloween, my busiest season. So November-ish, I came in here with 2 people, and I told the young lady with the spirit box, just tell me whatever you hear, because I don't even know who we're looking for. They heard the year 1828 and the name Henry. I actually had Kathy's word list that night, because again, I use that as a staple on me. I had the name Tim. This bust behind me is Henry Timrod. He was born in 1828. I cannot lie about these things, guys, I promise you. Now, I went, well, hot damn, there's my ghost. Here's how this goes. He was sick for most of his life, and he was a writer. Being born in 1828, he's obviously old enough to go fight in the Civil War. He goes out to the battlefield to fight for the Confederate side, obviously, because he's from Charleston, and his comrades realized he's too sick to fight. They sent him home, knowing he was a writer, and said, go be the voice of the war. So he came home and started writing poetry about what was going on the battlefield. He became known as the laureate of the Confederacy. Like, if you're not familiar with the writing world, like, this is a big deal. He has a son a couple years later. The son's name is Willie. He's born on Christmas Eve, but he died 9 months later. I know, I'm always telling you guys about dead kids. I'm so sorry about that. But anyway, very sad for him and his wife, Katie. They're mourning pretty heavily, and Henry's not writing as much. He has another writer friend here in town. His name is Paul Hamilton Hayne. He actually offers him his cottage in Columbia that's in the middle of the state. He says, go get back on track. Katie's parents are here to help her mourn. Go get back pencil to paper, right? So he goes out there and he wrote his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality. And then he coughed, which, by the way, beholder of brief mortality means dear person with a short life. That cough landed on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38, pen in hand. It was a perfect way for a writer to go. We are here because of the blood stain. The blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk.
Oh my gosh.
We call it the Blood Book. They show it 1 day a year at the Charleston Library Society, and you have to be a member to go see it, because that's where his collection is held. However, the internet is beautiful. I'm going to show you what the Blood Book looks like, and then we're going to go talk to a ghost. I will also tell you while we're here that Henry is a little timid about coming out all the time. And he is not exactly always happy about seeing me either. This is your blood book. Behold our brief mortality, cough, cough, death. Here is your blood stain that looks like a man writing at his desk. It's a perfect legendary mark. By the way, this guy was only 38 years old when he passed. So, you guys remember some of the clues that I told you when we get over there? I will try to ease into it by asking about his occupation and just kind of getting him to come talk through the ladies so that way we can kind of get some answers. As far as the 2 blindfolded young ladies, so I'm going to kind of need family members nearby them because they're going to have hand signals like taps, so that way they know what's going on. If they're too loud, you will tap them on the shoulder. If when we're done, you're going to tap them on the leg. They're going to know this, but I'm going to just warning the family members ahead of time. You got a part in this as well. So again, that way they know, because we do have neighbors. I don't want them speaking too loudly. But again, they're going to have to take off their own gear. I never touch anybody that sits on the bench. Especially when I got 3 ladies sitting there and we're filming me. Like, I'm just touching all my guests, right?
Yeah.
So let's go talk to a ghost. Let's do this.
No.
They all know the history. You don't, and you won't until you guys get your recordings back. I don't repeat the same stories twice in the same night. So everybody behind me, you're all going to stay in like pretty circled in, pretty tight, and obviously you're going to want to stay close to your family member that's sitting on the bench. So you're going to be able to hear me. You'll be just fine.
Okay.
But the two of you can't hear me. Like your spirit boxes are going to be loud enough, so you're going to need a couple of tap signals.
Yeah.
So in the event that you're speaking too loud, you're going to get a tap on the shoulder. Quiet down. We have neighbors. Don't piss them off. When we're done, because remember, 10 minutes only. That's it. You're going to get a tap on the leg. That means you take off your own blindfold, your own spirit box. All three of you, when I say come out of this, do not get up right away. You're going to be in the dark for 10 minutes. So kind of keep that in mind. The two of you, I want you to tell me everything you hear as you hear it. Okay, so that includes yes, no. If you hear odd sounds, like maybe a squeak, so I don't care what it is. Just tell me whatever you hear. This should look conversational. On your end, you're going to have images that just kind of float in 2D space. Describe the image simply, because now you're going to have two other girls talking over you. In the event that they're not giving me much, which I don't think is going to be the problem, I may ask you probing questions. So if you see three ladies on a bench with a tree, that's all you say, but I say, okay, they're not saying much. What time era? What are they wearing? That kind of mentality. I'll kind of give you some probing questions.
Okay.
So you'll be able to hear this whole thing. You're just not going to know why I'm asking the questions that I'm asking.
Right.
With the two of you, like I said, even yes, no answers, because I might ask the ghost if I'm wearing a black vest. I'm expecting one of you to say yes. So that would be blindfolds, get them spirit boxes cranked up so you guys can't hear me, and then I'm going to put my phone in there so you kind of don't get too comfortable yet. Now this is my phone, Laney, so if my wife is sending you dirty pictures, you got to let me know, okay? Nice. Just describe it for everybody to hear, right? VR before?
No.
I think I have that yet.
You can, but you're like, are you going to be okay with that noise?
Yeah.
Like, that's loud. I'll test to make sure you can't hear me. But it is 11:20, so yes, headphones on. Let's do this. Make sure we got volume set. What color is a blue banana?
Go.
Okay, you can't hear me. Good. All right, so she said the word go
Are we
already.
going?
We are. Henry, if I'm looking to speak with Henry Timrod, everybody else that's here is not welcome at this point. We are going to look for Henry Timrod only.
What? I'm perfect.
Henry, whoever else is
In a
here,
career. No.
can you tell us about your job?
Alexa.
You do not work for Amazon. I'm just trying to find something in here that's not going to make you fall asleep. Somebody messed with it last time, apparently. You're okay with looking at space, right?
Mom.
Cool. Henry, I need you to come forward. Tell us something about your occupation. You already have something come through. Your focus is right there.
Okay.
Henry, your job, please. Tell us anything you want to about your occupation. We're using the green box, and two other ladies can hear whatever you want us to hear. Can you tell us what the image is? Can you see it?
None.
Henry, I need you to come forth, please. I know I brought a lot of folks.
You're not next to me.
Myself. God.
Who else did you bring here with you? Henry, it's nice and quiet. It's just me and this group. There's no other tours here.
Get people stoned.
I told you it could be silly or it could be super accurate.
Hear the story.
This is where Dr. Ladd likes to chime in, guys. Just so you know, the home I told you about where he lived, 59 Church Street, is literally around the corner.
And
So
sunrises.
he will come through every once in a while. That's why I said nobody else is welcome here tonight. Henry, I need you to push through.
Neuropathy.
Please believe me.
Henry, I want to go straight to your occupation. If you want to start talking, what you did for this country, we would all love to hear about it. We'd love to hear about it directly from you. Yeah, Laney, try not to fall asleep in it. You might get one image, you might get 10. I never know.
Okay.
Henry, I know.
Believers in Jesus.
Wow. Okay.
Are.
Or what? Kathy, how's our word?
My life.
Word?
Award.
award?
Desperately. And 11 is the last.
Henry, we have the word award. Can you tell us what the award was for your work?
J. McMurcury.
Henry? What was the award for your work that you did for this country?
Only you.
Henry? Henry, we're here respectfully.
Yeah. Storage.
Henry, can you show us an image on the green box? We'd like to have some images so Laney doesn't fall asleep. Pretty dark in there for her.
I don't want to miss it.
I'm so glad she's getting things finally. She's been struggling with this all night. Henry?
Doc.
Did she say doc?
Yeah.
As in doctor? Dr. Ladd, is that you? Give us your first name, please. Verify yourself. Doc, you've given us images. We'll take that too. Let us know if you get anything medical in there.
Okay.
We've had nights where there's been 0 images, just so you know.
Okay.
In prison in 2000.
Henry,
Female.
you want to talk about your wife?
Don't you call the IRS.
We won't. No worries.
Need to get ready.
Get ready for what?
It's a white face.
Okay.
It looks like he might be wearing like a suit or something. It's an older male.
Okay.
Bald.
Any
You.
facial hair?
No, completely bald.
This.
His chin juts out very far.
Ha 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 ha.
I don't often laugh during these guys, but that's funny. Henry, who's in the image? Dr. Ladd, if that's you, you need to give us your first name. I'd like
Ha 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 ha.
still more laughter. Why does she keep hearing all this?
Back again.
Right. Dr. Ladd? You had any numbers, Tim?
Oh,
Nothing.
I've been running 0.
Principal.
Principal. Whoever's here, because this is very mixed, if you can tell me what your occupation was, it'll verify who you are. It's not always easy to find your name. Come on, Lauren, give us something.
Execution. More about Jesus Christ.
Henry, we're running out of time. We're down to about 3 minutes.
No.
Problem with the governor. Erin Rogers.
Graduation.
From Brothers.
Back and forth. So I'm just letting it ride out. Dr. Ladd, can you give us some kind of medical picture
For you, all you need to do.
in the green box, please?
I don't want to. 843.
That's our area code. I throw those away. It's too easy. Henry, back to you, sir. I will still take...
It's right for you.
Try.
Did you guys notice the phrase she just said?
Good time.
Right. Henry, thank you for that. I noticed
Rock. It's time.
small in
Those days.
small in my
And
name.
more world.
If you can give us anything else to really verify, I'll take your birthday.
Hello, Charleston.
I will take your birthday.
Killer.
Can you tell us what month you were born?
You know.
I do know, but I'm trying to verify that you're here, dude.
I don't wanna.
Please write
Everywhere
soon.
you go.
Oh my gosh.
4 o'clock.
Can you tap her on the shoulder for me? She's a little loud. I know we're going to be wrapping it up.
No chance.
What happened?
There is an image, but I don't even know what it is. And I was.
Is it artwork? Is it... You okay, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay.
And I.
Yeah,
It
she
just looks like an oval with like. It almost looks like there's like bells in it, but.
Church.
Church bells. I always ask when the bells go off,
Favorite horror
what
movie?
sound are we hearing?
It was like jingle bells though, like the silver ones. This one looks like artwork.
Henry, you gave us church and bells. Can you tell us
Let's go.
what church that is? Can you tell us the name of the church?
He would take off.
That is St. Michael's, by the way. That might show up on your word list.
Oh my gosh.
Very. Isn't it
10 minutes.
Wow.
On the dot.
Wow.
Wow, that's
10 minutes.
crazy.
Wow.
We've had that happen before where he's actually said 1 minute left, and there was literally 1 minute left.
Oh my god.
It's cool.
Henry, Dr. Ladd, would you like us to go
Sunday
home?
evening at 9. The incident.
You could tell us to go home.
I'm not that smart.
Hell yeah.
Neither one of those gentlemen would say
Open
that.
What subject?
Henry and Dr. Ladd, we're going to wrap this up. Can you tell us good night?
Get up.
I'm being.
Henry, going once?
I would like to take that time.
Wow. Okay. Henry, going twice for an image.
We went. Blood pressure.
Blood pressure. Blood book,
Ow.
everybody. I hate to keep
Later, my brother.
Later, my brother.
Hero.
Like, get out. Later, my brother. Dr. Ladd going once. Going twice. I hate to keep them under longer. Alright, let's tap the ladies, the blindfolded ladies out. Let's get them out of there.
That first one you saw too was like I couldn't even tell. It just
Okay.
looked like a bunch of like blobs.
Okay. Well, we're all going to take a look at them. Now,
That was crazy. Are you okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what did I don't know. How
It was crazy. Like, because I'll let him explain.
I know what
But
this is.
y'all
That
were like
picture of the man was,
going
like, super
back
clear.
and forth, like perfectly, like you were having.
Wait, actually? Because I thought,
Yeah.
like, what, like,
I made
what
no
This
this happened?
whole thing just looked like a very, like, not definitive conversation, like, where I can, like, hey, these are dates, these are names, that kind of thing. But this whole thing was like you were both answering me.
Wait,
like-
actually?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then and then someone said bell,
If-
bell
Yeah.
image, and then church, and then the bell.
I
rang,
think
like,
she
just
said it
that.
might go off or something, and then
And then
the
it
bell.
went off.
No. Did
And
you
then you
record
said 10
Oh yeah,
minutes.
it's all on.
I
And
didn't.
then
Oh,
10
stop your
minutes.
video?
No.